So after that, what we need to do, we need to fit our data to our model. So here in this, if you want to specify the metrics, you can specify the metrics also. Whereas if you don't specify the metrics also, that is not a big problem. By default, it will be considered metrics as in Minkowski only. And if you don't specify the p-value, by default, it will be considered as 2 only. That is nothing but it will consider Euclidean distance measure. Whereas if you don't specify the number of neighbors, by default, it will be considered 5 nearest neighbors. After that, what we need to do, we need to fit our classifier to our data set. So here we need to say classifier dot fit. So here to fit the training data to the machine, we need to use fit method. So here in this thing, we need to specify the xtrain as well as xtest. So here we need to specify xtrain comma xtest. We need to train the machine by using training data as well as test data. So here it is, which error it is giving, found input variables with inconsistent number of samples. So here it's giving so sorry, here we need to give y train here, not y test. We need to train the machine based on the training inputs as well as training output. So here we need to say y train. So here we train the machine. So by default parameters are this. Algorithm it will consider as automatically by nearest neighbor, k nearest neighbor, leaf size, number of nodes. So if it needs, it will consider as 30, and it is considering metrics as in Minkowski. That is nothing but we are following Euclidean distance measure, and by default number of neighbors we are considering as 5. And here we are considering Euclidean distance measure. That's why by default it will be considered as p-value as 2 only. So that is about the basic parameters. After that, we need to predict the outcome. So to predict the outcome, we need to use predict method. So here I'm storing that result in predict function. So here I'm saying classifier dot predict. So here to predict the outcome, again I'm using predict method. So in the predict method, what we need to specify? We need to specify the test set, X test. So here we predicted the output for test samples also. After that, what we need to do here, what we did previously, that thing only I want to do here also. So here we train the machine and we predicted the output. After predicting that output, what we need to do, we need to evaluate the confusion matrix. So for that purpose here, I want to copy pasting the previous code only. So here it is the confusion matrix. So here out of the 100 samples, we are predicting 7 samples mistakenly. So here we are predicting 7 samples wrongly and we are predicting 93 samples correctly. That means from this algorithm, we will get 93% of accuracy. And I want to predict the outcome for new data point. So here I'm giving new data points to my algorithm and I want to predict this data point. So if you observe this category, it returns output as 1. That is nothing but that person purchased the specific product. That person purchased that specific product. Previously also we got same thing. Whereas coming to previous algorithm, we got 89% accuracy. Whereas coming to this algorithm, we are getting 93% accuracy. So here for that purpose, I want to see the classification report. I want to see classification report. After this, I want to print R. So here it is the classification report. So here we are getting average accuracy as 93%. So here from this k-nearest neighbor, we are getting best accuracy for this classification problem. After this, what we did previously, we plotted the graph. So here it is a graph. So for the training set, initially we need to plot the graph. So today also I will explain you this graph. Same thing what I did previously, same thing I'm doing here. And I want to observe the output. For the test cells or test set also, I want to observe the same output. So for that purpose, I want to copy the data of test set also. Still it is loading. Okay, listed color map is a huge sized file. That's why it is taking some time. So here it is the graph. So previously, if you observe the same graph for logistic regression, here you are getting classification line as a linear line. So here, if your data points are linear, then better to go with this logistic regression model. It is a linear model only. That means it belongs to the linear model family only. In the linear model family itself, we have logistic regression classifier. Whereas coming to this model, here we have curved boundary. So if you observe this classification boundary, here we have somewhat curve kind of thing. So here I will explain you this code. So here initially what we did, so here we specified the training data to, we assigned this training data to X set as well as Y set. We did it because of at the test set also I want to replace this X train and Y train with the X test with and Y test. So for that purpose, everywhere I am replacing this X train as well as Y train with the X set as well as Y set. I want to use same attributes. So here I want to use same thing for the test set also, whereas I want to replace this training with the test samples. After that, here we need to say x-axis as well as y-axis boundaries. To specify x-axis as well as y-axis boundaries, so here we consider two features. So one feature is stored in, so here on the x-axis what we specified. So on the x-axis, which parameter we specified? So we need to go to the data set itself. So here on the x-axis, we are specifying the age attribute, or else we will observe the graph. In the graph itself previously we specified, on the x-axis we are considering age parameter, on the y-axis we are specifying estimated salary. So for that purpose, to consider the, to specify the limits for x-axis as well as y-axis, initially we are specifying that thing in the mesh grid function. In the mesh grid function, here initially we are specifying x colon of comma 0, which is nothing but on the x-axis we are taking minimum value with minimum of -1 and maximum value with maximum of +1, and here I'm keeping resolution as 0.01. So with the 0.01 distance, I want to consider each and every pixel point. It is a resolution. It will be said as resolution between the points. So same thing I want to do for y-axis also. To do same thing for y-axis, here we need to specify 1 colon comma 1 is nothing but we are specifying same thing on the y-axis, that is nothing but salary column. After that, what we need to do, we need to plot a contour map. So to plot the contour, we are using contour function. So here x1 is nothing but age attribute. So here we are plotting the contour between age and expected salary. So here x1 is nothing but age column and x2 is nothing but y column, that is sorry y-axis, and x1 is nothing but x-axis. So here we need to predict the outcome for each and every sample. So based on the samples, here we need to keep those points with the different colors. So here those are nothing but red and green colors. And here I want to keep x limit as well as y limits as. So here minimum values I want to keep as a minimum limit of x-axis, and maximum value I want to keep as a maximum limit of x-axis. Like that for the y-axis also I want to keep the limits. So I did same thing by using by limit function. So after that I want to iterate through each and every data point. So based on the data point, so here I want to assign those points to the different categories based on this contour plot. So here, so beside one side I want to keep red color and another side I want to keep green color. So for that purpose, in the contour map I specified the below color, that is nothing but background color. Whereas by using this scatter plot, here whatever the point belongs to the below red region, I want to keep that point with the red color only with the scatter plot. Same thing, if it is lies in the green region, I want to represent that point with the green color. So here I am doing that thing by iterating through both the things. Here, after iterating through both the things, I am assigning the different points with the different colors. So after that, I am giving the information regarding the specific graph. So here, if you observe the graph, here it is the training data set graph. So here, these are the, in the green region, we have red points. Those are our wrong predictions. Sorry, it is a test set. We our model predicting these points as a wrong test points. And here we have few green points in the red region. Those are also wrong points or unexpected points. For the test set also, I want to observe the same graph. So here we got the same graph for the our test output also. Here it is our testing data. In this testing data, if you observe, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we are predicting these 5 points as a wrong test points, and here also we have 1, 2, 3 points. So here we can say 1, 2, 3, 4 points. In the red region, sorry, in the green region, we have 4 wrong points. In this region, we have 3 wrong points. Out of 100 points, we predicted these 7 points as a wrongly. That's why we got 93% accuracy. It is about k nearest neighbor algorithm. So it is without taking exploratory data visualization. So if you want to do same thing by using exploratory data visualization, you can use Seaborn library based on your requirement. If you want to use, you can use the Seaborn library also. Whereas I want to explain you same project by taking another project. So here I will explain you same thing by taking another project. So here in the same folder itself, I want to create one more project. So here for this file, I want to give me name. That is, I want to modify this name. I want to give name as KNN1. So after that, at the same folder, I want to create a new project for the KNN, and I want to give name as some KNN3. So here, after this, so in this algorithm itself, I kept one data set previously. So here I kept a classified data. So on this classified data, it is a structured data. It is a highly preprocessed data. In this preprocessed data, I want to apply the k nearest neighbor algorithm. So here, initially what we need to do, initially we need to import essential libraries. I will start with importing the essential libraries only. So here we need to import the essential libraries. That is the first step. So after importing the essential libraries, what we need to do, we need to read the data set. So here I want to read the data set. Whereas coming to our data set, name is different. So here we have social. So this is the data set. So I want to modify this name. We need to take one more data set. So here it's a classified data, right? It is a data. So here I want to copy this name. So here we need to read this data. So here we are reading this thing. So here for the file name also we don't have extension. That's why here also I'm not specifying the extension. Whereas here I want to observe the head of this data. So here I want to observe the head of this data. So whenever you observe the head of this data, what it returns. So here we are getting 2 index columns. So remember this thing. Whenever you create the data frame, by default it will assign the index values. Whereas in the classified data set itself, we have index values. I want to avoid this column. I want to avoid this extra index column. To avoid that extra index column here, I want to specify the index column attribute. So here we need to use index underscore column attribute. Here we need to use index column attribute. So here I want to use first column as an index column. That is nothing but okay. Sorry for the interruption. So here what I am doing, I don't want to consider this extra index column. I want to consider the 0th index column as an index column. So I did this thing and I want to observe the data frame. So here if you observe this data frame, by default the index value, sorry, first 0th column will be considered as index values. I did that thing. After that, what we need to do, we need to standardize our input. So here we need to normalize all these values. So for that purpose, what we need to do, we need to apply standard scalar here. So before transforming this entire data, before dividing this entire data in the form of training and test set, here I want to perform feature scaling. So here I don't want to copy paste this thing. Here I want to create an object with the standard scalar. So here we created an object for the feature scaling. So after importing this data, I want to fit this entire data. So here we have SC attribute, SC dot. So we need to fit the entire data to this standard scalar object. So here I'm saying SC dot fit. In this, what we need to specify. So here I want to fit this data to entire data frame except this target class. Except this target class. For this all features, I want to perform feature scaling. I want to apply feature scaling. For that purpose, here I'm saying df dot. So here, what is our data frame name? Our data frame name is data only. So here I'm saying data dot. So here from this, what we need to do? We need to fit, yeah, we need to drop the specific column. In this drop method, we need to specify this class name. We need to specify this column name. Sorry. So here, I want to drop that specific column. So we need to specify target class. So here I want to drop that thing and I want to remove this entire column. I want to remove this entire column. So for that purpose, we need to say axis equals to 1 here. So here after this, I'm running this portion. So here we successfully applied the standard scalar on it. So after applying the standard scalar on the all inputs, we need to transform all these features to standardized values or normalized values. So for that purpose, we need to apply transform method on it. We need to apply transform method on it. Sc dot transform. I want to transform. So here we did not store this thing in variable, right? Yeah, good. So here what we need to specify. So to transform this entire column also, we need to specify same thing. Here we need to transform entire data set. Sorry, here onwards we need to specify the entire thing. So here we transformed all features in the form of featured vectors. So here, so for the scaled features, so here I want to keep name as scaled feature. So we need to give different name. Scaled feature, SC features. So SCF. So SCF stands for scaled features only. So here I'm storing the scaled features in one more variable. That is I'm saying as SCF. So here till now we scaled the features. After this, with the scaled features, I want to create a data frame. So here with the scaled features, I want to create a data frame. Here I'm creating data frame with the scaled features. So I'm saying SDF, scaled features data frame. So with this, we need to create a data frame. To create the data frame, we need to use data frame attribute which is present in the pandas. Here I want to create a new data frame with all the features. Features are nothing but inputs. So here what we need to specify SCF. In this, with the SCF, we need to create a data frame. In this, what we need to do, we don't we need to avoid the last column present from this. That is nothing but target column. So here we need to create a data frame with the SCF scaled features. After that, we need to specify the columns. So here we need to use columns attribute. So here I want to specify columns equals to what we need to specify. We need to avoid last column. So here we need to specify columns equals to data frame. So previous data, that is nothing but data dot. We need to consider all the column names, whatever was we used it in the previous data frame only. So whatever the values we have in this data frame, we need to consider same values here. So here we need to consider all these features names. Those are nothing but column names except this column name. So here, while performing this feature scaling, we did not consider this column. We dropped that thing here, right? We dropped this thing. That's why we need not to perform. We need not to apply the standard scalar on this thing, as well as we need not to keep that column name in the output. So for that purpose, here I'm saying columns names. I want to consider all column names except last column name. That is nothing but colon comma -1. So I did that thing here. Here we did some mistake where data frame object no has attribute has column spelling mistake here. Again spelling mistake. Sorry, here we need to use columns. Too many indices for array. Okay. So here also Mhm. In the data frame, CF, okay. Somewhere we did mistake. Already SF is with dropped column, sir. Why to drop the last column again? See here we have column names in the previous thing. So here that is nothing but in the data, in this data. So here we are giving column names from this thing. So that's why I'm dropping this target class. User name right data audio.
వెంకటేశ బాబాయ్.
Okay, good. No problem. Tomorrow we will discuss from this thing onwards. So after explaining this thing, I will give assignment corresponding